Well, hello everyone. My name is Mackenzie Kane with the National Sports Media Association, joined by the 2024 Montana Sports Writer of the Year, Frank Gogola. Mr. Gogola, thank you for speaking with me today.
Thanks for having me on.
If you wouldn't mind just starting off with a little introduction on what you're currently up to in the world of sports journalism.
Yes, so I work at the Missoulian newspaper and 406mtsports.com, primarily covering University of Montana athletics, focused on Grizz football and Grizz men's basketball and a whole bunch of various high school sports throughout the year. And yeah, I've just started the second half of Big Sky Conference play for men's basketball, and just got finished up recording our weekly Cat Grizz podcast with Victor Flores, who covers Montana State Bobcats on the other side of the state, and he won this award a few years back.
Can you just take me to that moment when you realized that, sports journalism was the career path for you? This is what you love to do?
Yeah, I don't know if there was a singular moment. I just grew up playing sports, anything I could as a kid and into high school, and enjoyed watching sports. And parents would buy the newspaper every Sunday, and first thing I'd go to is the sports section. My grandmother would buy newspapers and save the sports sections for me to read. So just the love of sports and reading and writing and kind of combine that all into a fun career.
What initially sparked that love of writing? When did you realize you had a knack for it?
Um, I don't know. I just always love to read books, and not even sports stuff, just other stuff too. So just like to like to write growing up, and just a way to kind of express my thoughts and put down what I thought and rewrite and make sure I had my thoughts right and what I wanted to say, how I wanted to say it. So a lot of writing and rewriting, and I find I still uh, do that in my job now, uh, rereading and editing my own stuff and reading other people's works, and just just haven't always enjoyed doing that.
This was your first time winning this award with the NSMA, so I'm curious what went through your mind when you first saw the announcement.
Um, I was surprised. Got a call about it, and um, yeah, I didn't know what to say. I think it's a great compliment. I guess to when I found out it was voted on by my colleagues and peers, and they were the ones who voted on it. They voted for me, so that made it special because they're the people you're with every day, hanging out before, after practices, games, waiting for interviews, just hanging out as friends, as I've gotten to know a lot of them. So we're kind of there with each other all the time, and just know what each other brings. So the fact that they were the ones who were voting on it made it, I think, even more special when I heard it.
You mentioned earlier that you'd actually read other people's sports stories. I'm curious if you've noticed any unique way in how you'll approach writing, or if there's takeaways that you've had from other people's style of writing that you've incorporated into yours.
I think when I try to do more analysis, column type stuff, just a little bit more free flowing or conversational type tone. And I just sit down and kind of write through and get all my thoughts down, just writing straight out. And if I have some stats or numbers or info in mind, getting that down, but just getting the main thoughts down and kind of free flowing writing to get all the main things I want to hit on, and then kind of go back through it and adding more details or researching things to get, more in-depth stats, but trying to get the bigger picture um, idea down first.
What did the career progression look like for you when you first got into college and your first job out of it and to where you are now?
Yeah, so I started back at Moraine Valley Community College in my hometown, growing up in the Chicago suburbs. And first day of school, just went to the student newspaper there and asked if they were looking for any sports writers. And they were, so did that for a couple years, and then went to Northern Illinois University and was able to get a spot on their student newspaper staff, and started out as a sports writer and worked up to assistant sports editor and then sports editor in my senior year. Graduated with a bachelor's degree in journalism there, um, and then went on to Indiana University in Indianapolis campus for grad school for a sports journalism major, and had a ton of great opportunities there. Doing some freelance work for the Indianapolis Star, helping them out with high school stuff and a occasional college game. Got a chance to cover the college football playoff that year between Alabama and Clemson through the college program there, and then got a internship working with Team USA for the 2016 Olympics down in Rio. And then yeah, I got after school got into freelance work back in the Chicago suburbs, and then got this full-time opportunity to come out to Montana. And this is year number 8 for me here now.
Is there a different strategy or approach for when you're covering different types of sports?
Um, I think a lot of it is you just kind of doing your research beforehand, so going in, and that's kind of from following all the sports is you kind of know what the main storylines are throughout a season. So when I'm covering the college football season or college basketball season is like a beat, you're kind of there in the day to day, so you know all of that. But jumping in to help out with high school stuff, that's where some of the research beforehand helps out a lot. Um, Obviously, that another difference is high school. It's a lot of keeping your own stats. Colleges, it's everything's online. They have their own stat keepers there, keeping all of that. So it's right there, more info than you probably uh, need right in front of you at one time. But I think that's something to growing up was just learning how to keep your own stats. And I mean, doing everything from football to soccer to basketball and wrestling, softball. It's, I mean, probably over a dozen high school sports. So just knowing all the stats and how to keep them is something I think that's really important that you kind of need to learn getting into the job. And that's something I was a big baseball fan growing up. And yeah, just keep box scores, watching games, whether at the park or sometimes even just watching the White Sox on TV. So something I kind of picked up early on before I even got into this as a actual career.
It's funny you mentioned that. I am actually writing my first feature story of the school year for our student newspaper, and I've found myself falling into stat rabbit holes when it comes to just going back in the history books and seeing, how many records some of our teams are breaking right now, and it's fun to see too. Yeah. I'm curious what you would say the best piece of advice you had, like a mentor had given you along the way.
Hmm. Um, I guess you're kind of maybe how I consider myself. You're kind of a storyteller in a sense. I mean, yeah, it's sports recovering, and there can be a lot of stats in a game to break down, but whether we're writing about game or it's a lot of the stories behind the athletes too. So just being able to tell the story of the people who are involved in the sport, that's something I've always tried to focus on, and especially feature stories and just getting into telling the story beyond the X's and O's that everyone can't see. So it's always told to kind of take the reader where they can't go. Um, and that's get into spend time with these athletes one-on-one and talk with them just about their personal story and reaching out to family or friends or former coaches who've helped them along the way. So just giving fans a look at these athletes they love because they score touchdowns or score points, give them a look where they're not able to go into just who these people are that they're cheering for. So I'm always grateful that these athletes are willing to share their stories, including some that are just very personal in their lives, and that they trust me to be able to tell those stories.
Have you had a favorite that you've written along the way?
Ooh, um, there's a lot. I guess one from this past year in the football season, just uh, one of the football players was a the oldest of his family of think about double digit siblings and just grew up in various houses, moving around um, throughout his life and became the first person in his family to attend college and did so on a full ride athletic scholarship. Um, and just kind of setting that example for the rest of his family of things they can achieve, even though they're coming from hard circumstances.
That's fantastic. It's a beautiful story. And Mr. Gogola, before I let you go, is there any piece of advice you would give to the young, aspiring student journalists about how to stand out in this industry?
Um, yeah, I think maybe a few things. I think the thing with covering anything but sports here, as we're talking, is um, just trying to be as fair and as accurate as you can in your reporting and in your writing. I think that's crucial, and I think it over time that earns respect from the people that you're covering as you build relationships with them that they see you're covering their programs or their teams in a you know fair manner and you're being accurate in what you write. So I think that's a big aspect of the job of just as you build those relationships with people. I'd also say if it seems like a lot of colleges more are closing off practices and stuff, but when they're open, that's always something I've gone to. Just spend your time there watching, seeing what's going on. I'd go every day to football practice, spring camp, fall camp. Just watch. I think it shows the people who are running the program and who are playing the players in the program that you actually care about what you're doing and feel that also helps you earn more respect from them and they're willing to talk with you more and open up with you more when they see that you're actually there and spending your time being around them and have that interest in what they're doing.
Well, I just want to say I appreciate you taking the time to sit down with me. And again, congratulations on the award.